Good morning, students of class 9. You're welcome back to the online portal now. Let's continue our lesson in English. We are doing lesson 7, packing from the textbook. So now there are altogether 5 points, and it was the turn of George and Harris to pack. After Jerome had finished packing the bag, now it was the time that George and Harris should pack. So they began light-heartedly, very happily, trying to show the writer that they could also pack very well. So now let's begin now. Yesterday we have done some, but we'll continue from the beginning again. They started by breaking a cup. As they were quite happy that they wanted to show that they also could pack very well like the writer Jerome. They started by breaking a cup. In the beginning, they broke a cup. Harris packed the strawberry jam on top of a tomato, of the tomatoes, and squashed it. Squashed means broke. And they had to take out the broken squashed tomatoes with a spoon. Next, what happened? George, things were lying on the floor, and George accidentally stepped on the butter. The butter was squashed. George stepped on the butter, as well as they packed the pies at the bottom. George squashed the butter. Since it is very soft, he could not realize that he had squashed the butter. Then they packed the pies, the small cakes. They packed the pies at the bottom and squashed them by putting heavy things on top of them, over them. So all the pies were squashed inside the hamper. Meanwhile, George squashed the butter on the floor. They upset everything. First they broke the cup, then they squashed the tomatoes. George stepped over the butter and squashed it. Next, they squashed the pies, which was kept at the bottom, and they put the heavy things on top over them, and they squashed the pies also, and they upset everything. George got the butter off his slipper. Finally, they saw that the butter was squashed, and George had to take out from the sleeper, which was stuck there, and he put them on tried to put it inside the kettle. He tried to put the butter inside the kettle, the squashed butter. Most of them were outside on the floor, but some were remained in the packet. So they tried to put the packet inside the kettle so that it will remain safe there. They tried to put it in the kettle, but it wouldn't go inside. The mouth of the kettle was very small. They tried to put it, but it could not go inside. And what was inside, they could not come out. It could not come out. It was stuck. So at last what they did, they pulled it out, the butter from the kettle, and kept it on a chair. They kept it on the chair which was lying there. And meanwhile, they were packing other things, and Harris came and sat on the chair. Without looking at the chair, what is there on the chair? Harris came and sat on the chair. The butter stuck on his back. They searched. Harris sat on the butter, which was kept on the chair. That was kept on the chair. George kept the remaining butter on the chair after taking out from the kettle, and Harris came and sat over there on the butter, or sat on the chair where the butter was kept. They searched the whole room for the butter. When it was time to pack the butter, they searched the whole room. They could not find it. They searched the whole room, but could not find it. They could not find the butter where they have kept. The George said, "I have kept it just now on the chair." So they began to search everywhere, but could not find it. Lastly, At the end, George got around the Harris and saw, oh, where? The butter was here in the room. It has not gone anywhere. It is there. It turned around. Stand still. Don't move. Then George went back at the back of Harris and got it off. It was stuck at the back. So lastly, George got around the back of Harris and saw it stuck at the back of Harris. And they got it off and packed it in a teapot. They put it in the teapot. Thus, in this way, they made a mess. They made a mess while packing everything. They broke things, they squashed things, they stepped on the butter, and most of the butter was wasted and very little was remained in the packet. So they made a mess. So in the next class we will talk about, to be continued, Montmorency. Now who is Montmorency? Let me tell you, Montmorency is the habit. Our habits disturb them. Actually it was their habits to get excited or not to use their head while doing the work. That was their habit. Montmorency disturbed them. So Montmorency, here the writer mentions about Montmorency. It is our habits, natural habits, certain habits we possess, certain qualities which is not useful to us, that writer describes as Montmorency. That is personified as a dog in the lesson. So in our next class we'll talk about Montmorency and that disturb them while doing their work or while packing things. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching so attentively and listening so attentively and properly and being in the class with me. Thank you very much. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you very much.